Here we go, guys. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to part 2 of the interview this evening. From the chair, we will be back in about a minute, and we'll introduce our guest. At this time, it is an honor to me to present to you Vertigo the Cure Rivera, world champion of WXW and former television champion of WXW. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hope everybody's ready. We're already here. We're going live in 30 seconds.
Hello, everybody, and again, welcome. Welcome, Mr. Vertigo, and again, it's an honor to have you on the podcast.
I know it's your honor. I know it's everybody's honor just to see me. I know, but it's okay.
Okay, so let's get to the first question. What makes the WXW stand out from every other promotion?
Okay, let me put it this way. Let me put this in here first. Okay, what WXW stand out for any other company is like we're not like this company that brings any kid of the patio that is training in the backyard, trying to make it. We are professional wrestlers that train for TV. We our expectation of every person that work in our company is the same expectation a big company like WWE, AEW have for their roster. We don't go for the kid that have a couple of months of training and buy a gear in Hot Topic and say he's a wrestler. We go for the biggest and better workers that we have in Florida and for everywhere they come. Everybody, if you ask any wrestler near our area, they all, they all want to have WSW the resume because WSW is the standard for every wrestling company here in Florida.
Good evening, Dakota. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, and I believe Pat, you have the next question.
I do. Who was your wrestling hero growing up?
Okay. Growing up, I have a specific group of people that I always follow. One it was Bruce Brody, the like great one of for me. They go. It's always been one my favorite wrestler, Bruce Brody. There's a Dominican guy called El Bronco Numero Uno. Uh, Taz, William Regal, and Eddie Guerrero. Those are the guys that my top five that I always watch and try to emulate and follow their path.
Very cool. Is there pressure wrestling for a promotion ran by your family?
Yes, yes. When I moved to Florida, I already have. When I moved to Florida, I always had 15 years or over working for TV and PR, and then other island around the Caribbean. But then I moved to Florida and I started working with WXW. For me, it was normal. I was working for a Hall of Famer, but it was normal. Like I was working in PR when I started dating Alpha's daughter and being part of the family. The pressures, the pressure was starting to get on because it was different. They expect more from me. Uh, I gotta everything's gotta be perfect. Every error, everything's is heat. The heat is on me. So I gotta everything's gotta be on point. Everything I do, I gotta watch everything I do outside. I said whatever I do, most of the time, is the eyes on me. So I gotta like manage myself as a total professional outside, inside, even sleeping. I gotta sleep like a professional because they're always looking at me.
Oh,
Next question.
yep. Oh, that's mine. How was your? Sorry about that. How was
No,
your?
you're good.
How was the character Vertigo created?
Okay. Uh, when I started training, I trained in a small school in PR called BSP. My first match, it wasn't at Vertigo at all. They brought me to that place. I didn't have a name. I didn't have nothing. I was like, I was gonna use my regular name. And my trainer said, "No, you're using this name." So he put me in the arena Onyx the Blackstone. So I did that match. It's okay, everything's good, but I wasn't feeling it. All my life, I've been a gamer. I used to play a lot of video games and arcade, and I'm still doing it. My brother used to play work in an arcade, so I used to go to this arcade every time as the school. And there's a game called Primal Rage, and one of the character was Vertigo. It was a T-Rex. And every time they saw me, because I was always using the same character, the kids always said, I put my quarter, say, "Oh, here comes Vertigo." So I got in my head. So they start calling me Vertigo. So I start using that nickname as a character. That's how
And that's
Vertigo comes. It's a nickname that I have since I was like 12 years old, but for a video game.
that's really cool because I've actually played that video game.
Yeah, you remember Primal Rage? Yeah,
Oh yeah,
In your
that's how
opinion,
Vertigo.
Hang on. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're good.
in your opinion, which wrestling promotion has the best talent? AEW, WWE, MLW, or New Japan Wrestling? And
But
in your opinion, which company represents your family the best?
okay. If you're gonna say what company represent my family the best, is WWE. If we're gonna talk about talent, it depends how you see it, because everybody have a different perspective of wrestling as a fan and as a worker. Because let's see, you can see a high flyer, and that's be your stand-in as a fan. and then you see a technician and say, no, I don't like that because for me that's boring, but I can see it different. So give you what company have the best talent. I really can't say that because they all great talent. They have amazing talent. It's depend how they use it. Who represent our family best is obviously WWE with the bloodline and all the family most of the time. And 90% of their career they work for WWE, so that's the one that represent them the best.
What do you prefer, singles or tag team matches?
Well, it depends. When I started wrestling, I was all the time single, and then for a while, Sabio Vega, he wanted to try something different with me, so he put me in a tag team, and I wasn't ready. I never. I wasn't used to a tag team, but then when I got used to, I start liking, loving it. So either one, I can be a tag team, I can be a single. Like right now, I'm with other two guys, Romeo Quevedo and the New York and the Ramos as a trio group. And depends where we're going. I can be a single wrestler, or I can be a tag team. Depends what company or what they need. Like right now in WXW, I'm the single, the heavyweight, and the Romeo and Ramos work as a tag team. But there's other company that I work as a tag team with Ramos, while Romeo were single or backwards. So I were tag team with Romeo and Ramos for singles. It depends what they need, but I like both. It's but tag team it's easier as for your body because you do less, but it's more difficult when it comes to psychology in the ring because you gotta know what to do and how to protect your opponent and your partner.
What was your best match to date, and who was it against?
Okay, I got a lot of great matches. I get a lot of matches that I love, and I work with a lot of like big names in my life. But for me, my favorite match it was the 10th anniversary of IWA in Puerto Rico. It was a X match with five other guys. It was a guy called Cuervo, Cole, Mike Piconos, Dead Warren, and NPO. Five guys and me. We were the opening of the show. We were just a curtain jerking, and we were the match of the night. Like after that match, nobody could have topped it. So for me, being the opener of that show, they put it there just to hype up the crowd, and then they had a bunch of superstars and people that came from Japan. They had Great Muda, a bunch of people, and our match was the best match of the night. For me, that's my favorite match because we took that show to another level, and the people that have been doing it for years couldn't top our match.
Okay, the next question I'm gonna clarify a little bit, which is, what was your worst match to date, and who was it against? And what I mean by that is like the one that you kind of like left afterwards and thought, man, I wish I would have done that or this or.
Oh, I had a lot of bad matches. So we all like the wrestler that said they never have a bad match. He's lying. We all have bad matches. Uh, Actually, it was an indie match when I was starting, but I was the more experienced in that match at that moment. I was already working for TV and IWA at Sabio Vega, and they contract me to work with a guy in another company. Uh, and the guy like barely knew how to do anything. So I was so mad that I literally ended up knock him out like cold and finish the match. I was like
Wow.
so mad. I was like, damn, I gotta finish this, and I'm gonna risk my body. I just like and knock him out. Just one punch straight to the jaw. That's not that difficult.
No, not at all.
All right, we have heard about some tough training schools, but with WXW being one of the best schools,
Yeah, actually, WSW. If you go to the top 10 wrestling school in a by area, WSW is one of the first five wrestling school. Well, as of right now, the school is closed for a while because some issues that we running through. I was at the main trainer. I still training people in other schools, but the name under the WXW name, like PW2, Frankie Regis School, and we find other ways to get our guys trained under WXW. But Florida have a bunch of great school. They got amazing school. They got J Lethal School. They got Team 3D. Uh, they got Chris Silvio. That's one of the guys for NWA. Uh, and they got a lot of places, amazing places that they can train.
Okay, so before we get to the next question, everybody, again, we're interviewing Vertigo the Cure Rivera. He is part of the Samoan dynasty. He is the son-in-law of Wild Samoan Alpha. So viewers, if you have questions, please post them and we will ask him.
Yes. So, being part of the Samoan family, have you ever wrestled Rikishi?
I met him a bunch of times. I talked to him a bunch of times. Never wrestled him. Actually, the only people that I ever wrestled out of the Samoan family is Jacob Fatu, Alpha Junior, Sean Malura, uh, Atibalu, Lance Anoa'i. That's Samu's son.
Yep.
And I met like 90% of the family. I've been with the family reunion and with them hanging out. Never wrestle with them, but I would love to wrestle people at them.
Well, there went your follow-up, Nathan.
Yep. No, that's good because that's exactly what I was going to ask. And I think we're starting to get some questions.
Go ahead. I jumped the gun a little.
We're getting some questions from our viewers. So,
okay, I'll ask Dakota's first. If you could face one member of the bloodline, who would it be, or who would you choose and why?
One member of the bloodline. For what?
Can you clarify for what? Hang on, I'm waiting for it to come in. If you could, in a singles match. So if you could face one member of the
okay,
yeah.
Okay, if you wanna if we wanna make in this game in wrestling in the business, you gotta go big. So I will go straight for Roman. He's a big guy. He's a lot bigger than me. He's the man right now, and everybody knows. And to be honest, for me, he's one of the best wrestlers that's the Samoan dynasty ever had as a talent. He's amazing. But I will take him. Whatever happens.
I would actually like to see that match.
I would like to see it too.
I believe Shane had a question.
I think he already answered, but he can just reiterate again. How did you get your stage name?
Okay. Vertigo already say it. It came for a video game that I used to play when I was a kid called Primal Rage, and all the kids call me with the name of one of the characters. It was Vertigo. It was a T-Rex. So it got stuck on me. So I started using Vertigo. The Cure, the nickname of the Cure is a very like touchy for me. It's very personal, but I will share with it. My sister died of cancer, and I have family that still battling cancer right now. Like my dad, actual dad, my dad is battling cancer. Before my when I started wrestling, my sister was the only one at that moment that was like supporting me the whole time, and she loved it that I follow what I want. And she used to sit down with me and watch my matches, and she always told me always in Spanish like "tú eres mi cura," you are my, that means you are my cure. That when she watches me wrestling, following what I like, she feel like she's cured. So that's why I used the cure. That's how I got that name. And Rivera, that's my last name, my actual last name. That's why I'm Vertigo the Cure Rivera.
All right, Pat, I believe you're up. So
Which of the
question
Roman
11.
Reign characters have you liked the best?
Watch what?
Which
Which of
of
the
the
Roman
Roman
Reigns
Reigns?
characters did you like the best?
Woman's character that I like. I was always fan of the Bull Nakano from
Nice.
the yeah Bull Nakano from Japan. I always like heavy rugged character that can hit hard. So I was a big fan of Bull Nakano.
Okay.
I think one of the other questions he had was which one of Roman Reigns characters did you like the best? Since he's got a couple in WWE.
Actually, when he studied at Liaki in NXT, I liked that style that like young, like Trunks character. But what he's doing right now, for me, is the best thing ever done. That's the best thing he's doing. That they need to win an Emmy or Oscar or whatever something like that. They're great. They sell everything they do. They sell it so perfect. So
Mm.
for me, that what he's doing right now is the best thing that he's doing.
Before you go, Pat, that's kind of funny because when we were doing our production meeting today, I said that you were probably going to pick the NXT character that he debuted with. So,
Okay, Pat, you're up again, my
When
man.
Jacob finishes with MLW, where do you think he will end up?
Well, I wish he will get a big sign like the AEW or WWE. He needed. He's for me, one of the greatest talent that family have. Uh, I I know he's stuck with that contract. That's why he's still in MLW. But believe me, as soon as that contract ends, a big company is gonna snatch him. But they've been trying before.
yes, for the fans who don't know, Jacob kind of put a promotion on the map with a couple other people down here. It was the WCWC with the grappler. So,
Yeah, every time I see him, it reminds me so much of Omega. So like,
Mm.
mhm.
and that was one of
Mhm.
my favorite characters of all time.
Love Umaga.
Very much so. In fact, one of my biggest regrets as a podcaster was I did a internet radio show with the Pitbull Gary Wolf from ECW.
Amazing guy. I met him a couple of weeks ago in a wrestling taping. Oh, I love him. He's great.
And one of the people we were going to interview was Umaga, but it was a couple of days before he passed away. So,
Whoa.
yeah.
It's sad that he dies that young.
It is. Okay, this one's kind of a funny one. Do Alpha and Sika still hit each other like they did in the 90s?
No, they on and off. That family. That's every family. They talk today, they fight tomorrow, and they made up next day. It's the same thing. Like brother loves. It's like it's the same. I'm the same with my brothers. Like talk to them today, tomorrow I argue with them, and then next day I call them. Oh, sorry, I love you.
I think
Who
Dakota
was
has
your
another
first match
question.
against?
Excuse me.
Uh, I'll,
Go
I'll
ahead.
let
Go ahead
Dakota
with
answer.
Pat. Oh, okay. So our fan wants to know if we could bring Umaga back. I think an Umaga versus Solo match would be intriguing. Your thoughts?
Oh yeah, will be a great match. Actually, I think it will be a great match. I will Umaga versus Solo or Umaga versus Jacob. It will be a great match, either one.
Ooh.
And also, Umaga's son is actually training under Booker T, and he's literally like if you look at him, you see Umaga. Like
Yes.
his image, the way that the size, everything. I hope he have. I'm very sure he have it. It's in his blood. That he have the same talent as his dad.
Yes, I've seen his pictures, and he
Yep,
does look exactly like Umaga.
exactly like Eki. They the same.
Okay, Pat.
Who was your first match against?
Oh, my first match was in 2001. February 22nd, 2001, in Nahuabo, Puerto Rico, versus a guy called Chicano from EWA, Puerto Rico. That was my first match. That guy, he wrestled in Japan, Mexico, Triple A, bunch of places, even in Ring of Honor. So I wrestled him in my first match.
So, what's your feelings on Captain Lou? I know he managed Alpha and Sika there for a while. So,
I always been a big fan of managers, and Captain Lou was for me one of the funniest managers ever. Never met him. I wish I could meet him before he passed, but he was great. It was great, and he was unique. He have a different image of other managers. Most of the time, managers are suit and tie, and he was very unique. He was a special person, and I always loved it. Even when he did Mario Bros, when he was Mario Bros, so he was great.
interesting point. I have an action figure that I'm looking at right now of Captain Lou with a steel chair next to him.
That's cool. I think my father-in-law have that one with him in his room, signed by him.
Wow.
I because I know he have one set of him, his brother, and Captain, and he one of Captain, and they all signed.
That's awesome. I think we have a question from Megan.
Okay. So, again, she's a little, but I'll ask it anyway, just so he can go back and answer it for her. What was your favorite match you were in, and why?
It was 10th anniversary of the IWMPR. It was the opening match. It was an X match with other five guys. That show was stacked with superstar people from everywhere. Even the main event was Great Muta versus the Great Apollo, and the semi was Savio. It was Savio Vega versus Mil Muertes. The semi man. So it was stacked. It was completely sold out. It was stack of stars, and we as the opener got the match of the show, the best match of the show, and also that match was voted that year match of the year. So for me, that match was one of my best matches because as basically new guys in the business, because it was in 2007, and have all the superstars after all, and we stole the show. For me, that was my favorite match of all.
And for those who don't know, Apollo, it was one of the best wrestlers I ever saw. Like the way he could move around the ring, and
Yeah, he was the actual first creator of LEX in TNA. It was him, Conan, and a guy called Vega. That was the first LEX before they add Homicide and
Ooh.
Hernandez.
So these next few questions, I apologize. I never wrote them. I'm just the executive producer. I just produced this thing. So
Don't worry.
Okay. So Pat, I
so
think you're up.
it would be 16, Pat.
Yeah. Who is your favorite bloodline member?
Well, I like them all. I do like them all. They're great. They're all great guys. My most interaction with them, uh, like talking, it was Jay. He's an amazing guy. They're all cool, but Jay was the most that interact with him. Well, the times that I see him and when I do some extra job works and stuff like that, or with the family, is Jay.
Very cool. And before I get to the next one, I think Dakota has another question.
Okay. So did the family ever interact with Sami Zayn when he was in the bloodline? In your thoughts, did the storyline meet its full potential?
Actually, that was I thought if I'm right, that was a second plan B in when in storyline wise. That wasn't the first plan, and they go for it, and it works. And I actually love how it works. They did a great job, and what they did with him was amazing. And Sami Zayn is an amazing worker, an amazing human being, and they did amazing work. So I had nothing bad to say about all that storyline. I think it was the best thing they're doing right now.
Very cool.
Okay. What are your future career goals?
Okay, I'm already 42 years old. Most of the company don't contract people over my age, just because they can take a lot of years out of me. But I'm a trainer. I love to train people, help other people to get their goals. And for me, I'm aiming to get a contract as a trainer in WWE or AEW, either one, and also try to open my own school and keep bringing people to this business and train them the right way.
Very cool.
In your opinion, which is the best royal family in wrestling?
Well, everybody knows who's the best royal family in wrestling. It's the Anoa'i and the Fatus. Everybody knows that. Obviously, the Hearts are amazing. The one actually people don't know. A lot of people don't know this, but Stu Hart is the trainer of Alpha the Wild Samoan.
Wow.
He
Really?
yes, the Hearts train the Samoans, and the Samoan and Alpha train the rest of the family. So we're connected somehow. But the Hearts and the Rhodes and the Ganyas, they're all amazing families, but everybody knows the Anoa'i and the Fatus are the best.
Okay. This is another one of the funny ones. Well, partly. What was it like to ask for Alpha? What was it like to ask Alpha for his daughter's hand in marriage? And did he hit you with a kendo stick first?
Well, that's funny, actually funny, because this is the thing. I didn't. Oh well, she told him first before he tried to kill me. She told him first because one of his first rules to her, the first and only rules for her, it was you will never, 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 never,
Marry
never,
a
never,
wrestler.
never in your life will date a wrestler. But the good thing, he always liked me. He wasn't mad. But obviously, then he had the father son-in-law talk, sit down with me and put the rules. So this is how you're gonna do. I was scared. There was like, "Dude, I'm gonna die these days," because he literally called me. Goes, "Hey, son, we need. I need you to in an hour in the school. It's just you and me. We're gonna talk." And I was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna die." But I sit down with him, and and after that everything was cool, super cool. And then we have after that we had a 4 years relationship as a boyfriend and girlfriend, and then we got engaged and married. But everything has been great after that.
Ooh.
I
All
don't
right,
think I need
Pat.
to ask this question because I think he just gave a good story about your family.
Oh, I'm sure he's got
I'm
more.
sure he's got more.
Oh, okay.
The
Okay.
the
Yeah,
question
I
is,
got a lot.
yeah. So the question is,
All right.
tell us one story about your family that we, the fans, may not know.
Hmm. Okay. I'm gonna just say just a little bit because there's a book in work about Alpha and the way from when he was a kid and him and Sika until they turn wrestlers, and that is gonna be in the book. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on it. So if you guys look, there's Alpha have a Roadrunner tattoo in his right leg. That tattoo was made of by Charles Manson in prison. No, I'm not gonna say anything more about that.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting.
That everything how he ended up there and what happened and why he had that tattoo and he was with him in prison at that moment is gonna be in the book. So I can I can give a lot. Yes. But
Interesting.
there's gonna be like it's gonna be a very interesting book. So we're working on it. I'm gonna let you guys know where it's gonna be released. But I think it's gonna be next year. So
Very nice. All right. Next question.
All right. What was your bloodiest match you've ever been in or been involved in?
well, I had a couple. I think the bloodiest match I had it was in Puerto Rico. I had a 2 out of 3 falls match versus a guy called Rick Stanley, and his gimmick was the candlestick. So my head was like beat up like a piñata for a while. So I had blood everywhere. I also done some couple barbed wire matches. I done like crazy matches. I done even dead matches. So I had like light tubes and stuff like that and matches. But I think that was one of the bloodiest match I ever had.
I can see that. Okay. My next question is: I was involved in starting a training school. Did you guys run into any problem difficulty starting WXW?
Well, WSW has been running for over 27 years. When I got to WSW, it was already 8 years 8 years in Florida because WSW started in Pennsylvania. And then they moved from Pennsylvania to Florida, and Samu, Alpha's older son, stayed with WSW and a school in Pennsylvania, and they branched out and opened another WSW in Florida. And they were already running for 8 years before I got here, and then I passed like a couple of months training and working with them, and then after that Alpha saw that I had experience, and I was also a trainer in PR, helping Savio Vega in his schools and change soil. So he know I got the experience, so he gave me a chance to be one of his trainers. And after that, I gained for a couple of months, I gained to be the main trainer of the school, like running the school. So, but it was fun. It was, and WSW been running steady and strong for a lot of years. And before WSW was Transport Wrestling, so he had a lot more than 27 years before that. But he got names like under WSW like Yokozuna, Undertaker, Vader, Gary Albright, Homicide, Loki, Jay Lethal. He got a bunch of names that have passed through WXW school and shows as wrestlers.
Okay, so we've got two viewer questions before we get to your guys' other questions. I'm just going to ask Dakota's first. He goes, who is the true tribal chief, Roman Reigns or The Rock?
Okay, to be honest, if you go for actually legitimate Samoan culture, Alpha is the true tribal chief.
Exactly.
That's why they have to use him to pass the lay in history to make it real, because that he didn't want uh, the culture, the Samoan culture, being mad at him with that, because they're very close to the culture. They respect the culture. But storyline, if you go like, it's a difficult question for me. I think uh, Roman, it should be the real one, but Dwayne is in another level. That's something different.
Okay, and the other one was via text message from our viewer Shane. He goes, if you wanted to see a one-time ultimate dream match on the biggest stage ever, who would you want to see and why?
Well, that's a good question. I always wanted to see, although I don't know why they never did it. And sometimes I understand why, but I always want to see that Sting Undertaker match before the streak ends.
Mm,
Ooh, yes.
yes.
But they didn't do it. They didn't go for it. Didn't work. So, but for me, that was one of the matches that I was like expected. I want to see how this goes.
All right. Back to your questions. Pat, you're next, I believe.
Have you ever met or wrestled the other members of the Shield?
Wrestled Mosley before he was John Mosley in WWE, when he had the long hair and pink in IWMPR, and he had trunks, and before he got signed by NXT. I wrestled him in IWA in Puerto Rico.
Very cool. I think you just made Tony's day, because Tony's a huge John Moxley fan. So.
He's an amazing guy, actually. He's a great person.
And I think Dakota has another question. So.
Oh, is there okay, so second part to his last question. Who would you take in a match between Roman Reigns and The Rock? Loaded questions tonight, you guys.
Wrestling,
Yes,
wrestling wise, Roman Reigns. Character wise, The Rock. To be honest, for me, Roman is a better wrestler. Character wise, The Rock is untouchable. So
All right,
So our
and
next-
talking about hard hitting questions.
Yes. Our next question is, how did you meet your wife?
well, before I met her, I met her in WXW, but I know her like for 3 years before we actually even start talking. I was just a wrestler in the company, and I'm a trainer at the school. And this was this barbecue once at Afa's house, and all of a sudden we just like sit down normally eating and start talking and talking, and like it was different. That we were like there was like connection, and then we start talking on Snapchat and Facebook, stuff like that. Little by little, like the interest start getting bigger until like one day, uh, she was actually the one that asked me for a date first. She invited me to like a karaoke place here on a Universal Studio, and after that we just like basically start dating and know each other until like we finally start dating, like be together as a boyfriend and girlfriend. And then after I find out, and they almost killed me, but then I'm still alive, so I'm good.
This next one is a good question. Go ahead and ask, Pat.
What was the best advice Alpha has given you, personally or professionally?
Can you repeat it?
Yeah, here I can.
What
What
was
was
the
the best
best
advice?
advice Alpha has given you,
Okay. Uh,
professionally or
the
personally?
personally, personally, he's like that, and he always literally like. That's why they call him pops, because he's literally like that for everyone. Even to, they treat everyone's like their son. So a personal advice can be even for rest. You can use it whatever he gave you. You can use it either in wrestling or your life, because he's a very wise man, and a lot of people don't know him like that because they just remember that crazy wild character. But one of the words that he said to me once is like, "Son, never go to their level. Let them try to jump to your level. That way, everybody's gonna see you as at your best instead at your low." That was his words.
Wow.
Very cool. Wow.
So kind of the flip side of that, what's some advice you would give to an inspiring wrestler?
Well, I always said this: always have a backup plan. I'm honest. Always with my students, with everybody that asks me, if you're studying, finish your studies. If you have a job, don't let your job. I know if wrestling is your passion, follow it, do it. But you always need a backup plan. We have in this is the hard life. You're gonna have injuries. You need money. You're gonna have problems around. You never know what's gonna happen. So if something happened during that, you have something that you can sit on while later on in life you can keep following, or you can have to stop. So you never know. Like life is difficult. It's not easy for it. No matter what happened, they always need something to sit on it, and you have in your mind like, if this doesn't work, at least I got this, and I'm gonna be okay. But if you like just keep focus on one thing and then something happened to you, I seen a bunch of people and are homeless and nobody next to them, have nothing to back them up. So always have a plan B. Not just don't go blind to on one thing.
Okay, I think we have a new viewer that has a question. You see
Oh
that
no,
one? Joe?
she's just saying that she loves these questions.
Well, thank you for that. What was your
We
first?
really
Go ahead,
go
Tony.
ahead.
What was your first experience meeting the People's Champion?
Whoa, my first experience meeting the people chap, it wasn't the best, cause it was in Rocky's funeral, Rocky's father's funeral. That it was different. He's a great guy, super cool. and but it wasn't Rocky Johnson funeral. So it wasn't wow, like yeah, I just met you. No, it was like whoa, it's awful that we're here, and that's the way I met you. But after that, it's super cool.
What was it like to win your first championship, and who was it against?
Well, my first championship was wow, and then 2003. Yeah, 2003. It was a small company in Puerto Rico called RWA, and then it was I think the uh, TV championship versus a guy called Tapia. It was cool. It was cool because at that moment you're like you're new to this, you don't know much, and you have the opportunity to like represent the company somehow that you're doing something that you like winning a championship now and winning a championship back then is still the same emotion, like because you know they trust you to represent the company. So if you have the talent and you're doing the job right, and they give you a title, it's because you mean something.
The next question is, which promoter is doing a better job? Tony Khan, Triple H, or Court?
Well, Tony Khan is not doing a bad job, but he's new to this. He's still, even in the company has like 3 4 years so far. You can see as a wrestler that he's still testing waters and trying different stuff instead of like get something steady and keep going for it. WWE has been doing it for years, and no matter how much people say no, I'm not gonna don't like this, I'm not gonna see it anymore, they're gonna still every Monday and every Friday turning on the TV or going to their computer and watch it. So WWE always been doing a great job. MLB, they got a great talent. They've been ups and downs, and I say MLB, they just need to stick up on one thing. There's also a company that they start something today and tomorrow they change it and then do something else, and they just they don't have a path like WWE does. That they already have a pattern and they know what they want, they and what they're doing and what their focus are.
But speaking of MLW, that Jacob Fatu Alexander Hammerstone for the world title was phenomenal. That was probably
Oh
one of the best matches
yes,
that I've watched in many, many, many years.
yes, yes. They're both amazing talent. That's another guy, Alexander Hammerstone, that I'm very sure as soon as that contract finished, somebody's gonna snatch it. Somebody's gonna take him.
Yeah,
He need to be in a bigger platform than that.
yeah. And like Nathan and I both said, we actually got to watch Hammerstone and Jacob when they first got their start back in the WCWC here in Portland. We watched them every week on TV. Um, but like I said, that match was probably the most phenomenal match that I've seen in a long, long time. I would have liked to seen it go the other way, but you know, Hammerstone. Yeah.
It was
I know.
that match was funny to me because I watched that on Tony's computer because I don't have reels where MLW is broadcasting at the
Yeah.
moment. And so people in the nursing home, I'm sitting here on my computer yelling like crazy, and nobody knows what's going on because I can't see, what I'm seeing. So they're like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm seeing a really good wrestling match. I'm good."
I can't imagine.
What are your thoughts about this? Oh, okay. Here's another question from Shane. So, what are your thoughts about the WWE Diva matches? Are they the same?
Well, to be honest, right now, wrestling, women's matches are amazing. They have the same. They always been and had the same talent of a man. A man that said that women can wrestle like a man is. I don't know. The problem is when women's wrestling started back in the era, they were just an extra match. They were like the midgets. That was just a attraction. It was one match once in a while, like the same thing. Then the '90s, Vince Russo took over and make a joke out of women's wrestling.
Hmm.
And then now with the women's revolution, they had amazing talent. They got a talent that you see it, it's like, fate, this woman's just gonna kill me. So I think they're at the same level. I still against to have like 300 matches of this on women's and a couple of the men. I think it's like they need to keep them special because they're great, but not all of them have that big star talent yet. Like Charlotte, Rhea, Asuka, they have a couple that you see like but one or two matches every show is perfect, and they're great. And a main event, perfect. I know they can do it, but they gotta keep them special instead of throwing all of it at the same time all the time.
Well, one of the things I've never understood about the WWE, as far as you know, at least one particular woman, is why they haven't given Tamina a consistent like story or a push or anything. Always seems like it's a start and stop thing with her. So
I have the same question. I always thought the same. She's great. Tamina's great. She have the spirit and the talent. She and I know she can carry that woman division, but she's there just to fill up. Like Natalia, the same thing.
Mm.
mhm. In fact, I really enjoyed when they teamed them together. I wish they, when Natalia and Tamina were put together, I thought that was going to go somewhere, and again, it just
Yeah,
didn't. So,
me too.
Mm.
I thought the same. Finally they given a chance, but they didn't.
Okay, so I'm going to do a little hypothetical here before we get to some couple more questions. I'm just going to play one promotion against another promotion here, just on a mic battle alone. You've got The Miz versus MJF. Who wins the mic battle?
MJF.
I don't think you have
We,
any argument here with any of us.
no, not at all.
we, I'm honest when I say give me a second. I love the Miz, but MJF will win.
On a different hypothetical question, if they were still alive and in their prime, who would win between Yokozuna and Andre the Giant?
That's a great question. I really don't know how to answer that. I always love Andre. I always that was it was when I grew up watching him, and it was every time I see it was amazed just how. But Joko, for his size and his weight, he was a phenomenal athlete. Like, it was difficult. It's still difficult to see a guy of like over 400 pounds moving like that. So I really don't know. I will put a draw on that match. No contest on it.
To be fair, I don't know if
Okay.
there's a ring that would hold that match up. To be perfectly fair
Oh,
with
that's
you.
true. That's a lot of weight on it.
So I think Dakota has another one.
Again, it's if you were to get the call up to the big promotion, which one would you get to?
Either one. Oh, real.
Yeah.
Uh, I love wrestling. I always love wrestling, and whatever is best for the business and whoever call me, I will go and do my best. Either company, I'm good with it.
So I'm going to go back to the Miz and MJF thing here. Okay, so MJF in a mic battle. What about in a straight up wrestling match?
Wrestling match, NJF.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the thing. The Miz has experience, and he's a great character, he's a great talker. But if you like, NJF is natural. But the time he has in wrestling and the little bit he's done, it's difficult to find a flaw what he does. It's very difficult. The Miz had to earn everything little by little. He born for for it, and JF born for it.
Yep.
So, before we get to the last question that we wrote down, but surely not the last question, I noticed when I was watching your videos that you worked with Father James Mitchell and Sue Young. What was that like?
Oh, that's amazing. Father James Mitchell, amazing person, one of my favorite guys in the world. He was my manager for a while. And Soo Young, I love Sue. We had the chance to travel together to PR to do some work there, and we work a lot in Central Florida together with some stuff. And it's really amazing. I James Mitchell, and I had a match. Me being managed by James Mitchell against Abyss, like his former.
Ooh.
That was one of my favorite matches about that. I love that match.
Ooh.
So, I have a follow-up question to that because I watched a promo where you were in a hardcore match. It was a three-way hardcore match for 2 titles. And then
Yes.
2 other guys got involved, and then he said he was bringing in a mystery partner, but I couldn't find the video. So, who was the mystery partner?
Okay. My mystery partner was Madman Fulton.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I was tag team champion with him for like almost over a year and more in Atomic Revolution Wrestling in here.
That's another man that's been underutilized in his profession.
Oh yes, that's another guy that should be in a bigger spot.
Okay, and our last question that we have
So,
written down. Oh, go ahead, Pat.
Hold on. Go ahead, Pat.
So, if you were to choose a good tag team rivalry to face the all-time greats, the Road Warriors, what tag team would you choose?
Cool. The Road Warriors versus Hansen and Brody.
Oh, I like that answer.
Oh.
That's
I
a
would
big
love to
a
see
big
that
man
match
match.
if that would've happened.
They will kill themselves.
But I think that match might have had to happen in Japan because that match
Yes.
would have gotten over so well in Japan. That
Yeah, that's a Japanese style match right there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I grew up watching a lot of Brody matches.
Mm.
So, yeah, he was one of my favorites.
I had the chance to see him before he got killed in Puerto Rico. I was only 6 years old.
Mm.
And I was scared, like shit. It's like, oh, okay, this guy. But then obviously, when I grew up, I started looking at about him and his matches and learning from him. But I was so scared.
That
The
was
same
same way with
thing.
me and Andre.
The first time I saw my father-in-law, I was 5 years old in Puerto Rico, and he came out barefoot, eating raw meat. I was hiding behind my dad, and who knew? Who knew I was gonna end up being his son-in-law?
Yeah,
Good old
just
Wild
like
Samoans
you,
and
I
that,
was
and
scared
that
of Andre.
raw chicken.
Excuse me.
Go ahead, Pat.
I got to meet Andre in person.
Oh, that's great. I wish I had the chance to, but
so one of my favorite Wild Samoan moments from when I was growing up was at WrestleMania 9 when the Head Triggers took on the Steiner Brothers and Alpha was managing the Head Triggers.
That was a great match.
That kendo stick shot that he hit Scott Steiner with, that it like
Oh yeah,
ricocheted through Caesar's Palace, was
yes.
like insane.
It's crazy. He never measure. It's like just like gonna throw it. If you get it, you get it. I killed you. I killed you. That's the way it is. That's I learned with him that way. Also, it's like some people scared to step in the ring with me, but it's part of it.
Hmm. Yeah. So Dakota has a kind of cool little question. He goes, "What's your favorite on the mic moment? Your favorite promo?"
My
Ooh,
favorite
good one.
promo. Okay, to be honest, if you listen to my accent, I have a very Spanish accent. I'm not the best talking in English, but when I'm going off in Spanish, I can tear anyone apart. Like I can make it pieces. And I had a few in Puerto Rico against a guy called Dimes, and he can talk. That guy is like can like every time he talk a mic is magic. So it was me and him was promo after promo after promo, and we build up a whole show without touching each other, just by promos. Everybody went there just what we were saying. So that's for me. It was my favorite, like, promo wise feel.
And just to explain how much emotion like you pull out of people when you're talking, in Spanish. I watched in my research. I watched one of your promos, and I don't speak Spanish, but man, I was hooked on that promo for like, the 2 to 3 minutes that video was going because didn't really know what you were saying, but you got me with it. So
Yeah, people at least I'm a person that learned how to use my body language, so when people don't understand what I'm saying. So at least when what I'm projecting, I got you engaged on it.
Mm.
yep.
So I go back and forth between English, Spanish, so that make more my character. Like it make it different. So I'm not trying to go one language. So I always love to be different. I hate being copy paste to someone else. So every time I do something, I want to look apart. So that's why everything I do it gotta be separate for the rest of the people.
And then the last question we wrote down was, in my opinion, Jacob Fatu has the best moonsault ever. No offense to Christopher Daniels, but
I have the same opinion. I witnesses and I feel it too. And yes,
I mean, for somebody that size to be able to jump from like to the middle rope and then to the top rope and then execute the moonsault like that is like awe-inspiring.
and he got height and he got a reach. He can go like no matter where you at, he's gonna follow you. Like a heat seeker, he's gonna land on you.
Absolutely.
So one of the matches that I know Tony and I have watched is the one with you and Benny Mack for the vacated WXW television
The
championship.
TV champion. This
Yes.
is funny. This is funny because I he was one of my first matches when I moved from Florida and I started working for WXW when he started wrestling, and I seen him growing up like little by little. And like, we have a love hate relationship. Like every time we see each other, we want to kill each other in the ring. So I wrestled him so many times. Oh, this coming six, we have the WSW Stream War. That's our version of the Royal Rumble. The
Mm.
different, the different of the Rumble of the Stream War is the last six persons. It changed the rules and turned into a six-way double elimination.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So that's why it's called Stream War. And the main event after that is Beanie Mac versus me in an all disqualification match for the WXW heavyweight title. It's gonna be live on Facebook. Whoever wanna see it, WXW wrestling on Facebook. If you wanna be part of it, see it, comment, share it. So you guys gonna be a part of it, and me and Beanie Bag go a long way, and we kill each other basically every time I say. I love being in the ring with him, but I hate him a lot too.
Well, one of my favorite moves that I saw you do in that match was when you did like a victory roll and you kind of caught him in an ankle lock or a knee bar after you came through.
Oh yes. So, like I said before we started the interview, I trained for a while. I like a little bit MMA. I have a Hapkido background and a Muay Thai background, so I try to use it in my matches too. So
Absolutely.
also hand-to-hand combat, like hand-to-hand combat, a little bit of Krav Maga because I served for 12 years in the military infantry, so I have some training on that.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
I got one more question. Who is the best lucha libre wrestler that you know of?
Well, that I know of, for me, always gonna be Rey Mysterio.
Ooh.
Always gonna be Rey Mysterio.
Ooh.
There can be a bunch. There can be a bunch of wrestlers that can do a crazy moves and stuff like that, but he was the one that put lucha libre in the map. The actual like Mexican lucha libre on the map. If it wasn't for him and WCW, lucha libre wouldn't be here like that right now.
So
Great
I have a follow up to play off of that. What do you think of the Ray Dominic storyline right now? And
I think it's great, but another thing is like, okay, us as Latinos, if my son, I don't have a son, I have a daughter, but if my son just yell at me one time, like he's been doing the whole time, he will be like under 7 foot under a long time ago. But I understand they gotta play it with it. He would like. But a Latino family, you know, you don't raise your boys to your dad, and at any moment, because you're gonna die. You're gonna beat up with a chancla right away.
I'm surprised it took him yelling at Angie to get to the match, but you know that's good storytelling.
No, but that is good. The way they be building it pretty good, so people understand what is happening, and I think it's great. And I was actually me as a wrestling fan because we all wrestlers, we are wrestling fans too. If a wrestler say I'm not a fan, I don't watch wrestling, he's lying. I was expecting that match to happen, so we're just waiting for the moment that they're gonna announce it. When? Today? Tomorrow?
yeah, I just hope.
Part of that, yeah, and the other part of that I'm hearing supposed to be Mask versus Career or something like that. It's supposed to. That's what I'm. That's the second part that I'm hearing.
Yeah,
but I'm not,
I think that's gonna be his last match too. He's already have seven knee surgeries. He's been doing it for a while, and very true. He don't need to do it.
Yeah.
I think he just need to be like a taker, like a special appearance, something like that. No, like
exactly
all the time. He done enough for wrestling to keep doing it.
And I just hope that they can reach a deal with Conan so that Conan can induct Rey Mysterio like Ray wants in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Because Conan was the first one that given a chance in AAA to him and helped him to go from there. So that'd be perfect for him.
So I'm gonna go there, Nate. I'm sorry. I'm gonna embarrass you in front of.
No, you're good.
Here. I'm gonna embarrass you in front of royalty here.
You're good.
He's got a bet that I'm taking him to a Seattle Mariners game in August. If he doesn't predict a perfect WrestleMania card, night 1 and night 2, he's got to go perfect. And if he does, he's fine. But if he loses, he has to wear a dress to the Mariners game.
I like that bet.
So do I. It's a bet he's going to lose.
But I promise you this. I told you I was involved in wrestling before. If I have to wear that dress to a Mariners game, I'm playing that thing up to the tens, man.
Why don't you wear a dress and a Mets hat on it,
I can do
Cool.
that.
and send me a picture. I would frame it and put it in my wall.
All right, sounds good.
Oh wow! But no, so you've got to go a perfect WrestleMania card, my man, and I just don't know if you can do it.
I'm very
Uh,
sure that the thing is like WrestleMania, like most of the time is like predictable, but this one is kind of difficult. For real,
You know,
it's
and
for
yeah, yeah, and
it's kind of difficult. This one is I don't see a pattern like they normally have a pattern that it's gonna happen this and this and this. This one has been like like difficult to predict everything.
mhm,
So that's a
mhm,
good thing.
yeah,
So that keeps
yeah,
people interested. That's a good thing that happened.
yeah,
Yeah, the matches I'm worried about are the fatal four way matches because those ones are hard to figure
Yeah,
out because there's so many people in them. And
yeah. They like to do surprises in those matches.
hmm. Well, I don't think that's the only one you're really torn on too. I think you're torn with the main event night too.
yes, I mean for a storyline purpose, I want to see Cody win
Well,
because
it can go two ways. Or Cody wins, goes to solo, or Roman wins, goes to solo. That it.
I never thought of that. Oh, hey, and Dakota has one more question. So, and I love how they're doing this. I swear. Uh, so he's putting Solo and Jacob versus Jimmy and Jay. Who would win that match?
Solo and Jacob versus Jimmy and Jay. Hmm. That's a good question. But okay, if we go to experience and tag team technique, Jay and Jacob will take them quick. We go to raw power and character wise, I think Jacob and Solo would take them out.
yeah, you're right though. That is a hard one to kind of it
Yeah.
depends on which way they go with it. So um, I'm surprised though. We talked about Tony Khan a little bit. You know, I'm surprised he doesn't have a lot of like the Samoans in his promotion
Me,
yet.
me neither. I'm surprised too. I think the only person that worked with him so far, and he's just like the YouTube show is Chon Maluta and
Mm,
Atibalu, but it doesn't have yet other than Samoa Joe, and Samoa Joe is not part. He's Samoan, but he's Samoan from his family is Samoan. He's from California, and he's not part of that tribe of the Anoa'i family. So
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, I love though the mic work that Roman's doing with Cody for the setup for
yeah,
the main event of
yeah.
WrestleMania.
He don't even have to say much, and he's still selling it. And he also the thing is, you see that group, and they all can talk. Paul Heyman is there because he need to be part of it. But even if he's not there, they're all good talkers. That's a good thing. So
Yeah, Tony and I have said that numerous times that Paul could go off to somebody else and the bloodline would be just fine.
yeah,
In fact,
they'd be
we
okay.
we
Yeah.
said that the person that Paul should go with is Ronda Rousey.
Actually, it's not a bad idea. I never seen him like actually focus on a woman.
And Ronda's got all the wrestling skills, but her promo skills,
Yeah,
you know,
horrible.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
think
Yep.
Paul would do wonders, being that mouthpiece for her.
What do you think,
I
Paul
think he would
turning
be.
and why you think Paul turning and be him and Cody?
Ooh, didn't think about that
Ooh,
one.
but Cody
I could
doesn't
see
need a
that. I
mouthpiece
could see.
either. But
I
yeah,
And
I
Cody
can see
not doesn't need
Heyman.
a mic, but it'd be like Bullwinkle and
Hmm.
Rocky.
uh,
And
yeah,
Rocky.
no, Bullwinkle, the wrestler, and he was
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
I forgot his the name of the manager, the Wizard. They were
oh
good talkers, but
Yeah.
he didn't need it.
yeah. I don't know though. Seeing Paul Heyman as a baby face would be interesting to say the least to me. I
It'd be different.
Funny story about Paul Heyman. Like I said, I did the podcast with Gary Wolf for a while. Had very interesting things to say about Paul Heyman. Was very thankful about the fact that Paul Heyman gave him a start, but that's kind of where it started and ended.
Hmm.
Well, I met him a couple of times, and I don't have at least nothing bad to say about him. He been very interesting. He's always like telling stories and talking about the family because he also Alpha was the first one that gave him a chance, so he's very grateful to the family. That's why he's next to Roman right now and helping him.
That's where that ties in. Oh,
Yep.
okay. Gotcha.
And Dakota said that he would like to see Heyman with Randy Orton.
That's a good choice, but I won't put Randy Orton with me personally with no one. He doesn't need anything next to him. If you see Randy Orton, I think is the epitome of wrestling. He can talk, he can wrestle. He don't need to take a lot of bumps. He's with a little bit of body language. He sell you the match, and everything he does is good. I never seen he doing something bad. A heel, babyface is always great. Everything he does is like the standard. If you a fan and you wanna learn, watch Randy Orton, and that it.
So, in any promotion, is there anybody that you've seen that like maybe the fans might not know that much that could be like the next like future of the wrestling business?
Well, I always been a fan since I first saw him and met him. And I don't know. Well, WWE have don't like small people, but I always say that if they give it a chance, he will be great. It's Pete Dunne.
Yes, I agree.
They just need to let him loose and separate from that group and let him be him.
And there's actually a rumor that Triple H is actually going to do that. He's going to change the name back to Pete Dunne. And
Yeah, they should. He's done. He had everything. He can talk. He got a great image, and he's an amazing wrestler. So
I mean, look at his matches with Walter. Over the
oh,
NXT UK Championship.
yes, Walter is another guy that I think as soon as they take that title from him, he should go for a bigger thing. He should be in the heavyweight map.
Absolutely agree with that one.
Absolutely agree.
In fact, I believe the WrestleMania match for this year was rumored to be before they went with the triple threat was going to be him and Lesnar.
That'll be an amazing match.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to do a little promotion work? What's coming up for you, or?
Yes.
Yeah, we got April 6th, WXW Stream Wire. If you guys are far, you want to watch it, you go to WXW Wrestling on Facebook. We stream it live. And also, April 22nd, WXW Open the Vault. It's gonna be we're gonna be selling rare Samoan Dynasty artifact, like war gears, pictures, chairs, posters, lava lavas, a lot of like stuff from the back in the NWA era, AWA, WWF, from the Wild Samoan and the whole bloodline, signed by them and other wrestlers. Also, we're gonna have uh, big names invite to that. They're gonna have their tables there, and we're gonna sell everything online with people that can be there. They can uh, buy it online, and we're gonna everything is gonna be live streaming. So if you a fan of wrestling and you like to buy memorabilia, that's your chance. Cause, and also all that money that we're gonna collect on that that show is going to the Samoan American Samoan Island to help young kids and uh, young kids on sports on a sport teams that the family run in the island, a football team and baseball team. They need equipment, and we're doing that to help them. And also, they're gonna open a Wild Samoan museum in Samoa, and that money goes also to help that museum. So you want to help, and you have a fan of wrestling, and you want to get some extremely rare memorabilia. That's your chance. April 22nd, just go to WXW Wrestling, and you're gonna see it there.
Very cool.
Very cool.
So coming up on our show here in the next couple of weeks, it's WrestleMania week, as we all know. So we're going to be doing a lot of prediction shows, and will our host be wearing that said dress to the Mariners game in August?
Oh yeah, I want to see that.
And I'll wear the Mets hat. Don't worry. I'll get myself
Oh
a
yeah,
Mets hat.
I'm gonna post. I'm also gonna post it in my page. And everyone, you wanna follow me? We're gonna know. We wanna know more about me. I'm an open book. You wanna send me big question and answer online? You go to Facebook Vertigo the Cure Rivera, or go to Twitter Vertigo the Cure 13, or Instagram Vertigo the Cure 13. I'm always there. Just send me a question, add me, follow me, be my friend. I'm everybody's friend.
Absolutely.
Unless you mess with me, I punch you in the face.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Also, on April 16th, we have another Special Olympics athlete confessional with Wesley, who just came back from the Jericho cruise recently
Oh, that's cool.
and is very big on 60s wrestling and the Seattle wrestling scene, so that'll be interesting. Also, we on the 23rd, we have legendary WCWC manager, Mr. Tubbs, who is now part of probably one of the hottest factions in the Pacific Northwest, Hellbound. And then on April 5th, we will be pre-recording an interview with Special Olympics own DJ Shane. And then on May 19th, he will be bringing back for one night only Solo Radio.
That's nice. Oh, one more thing before everything's done. Hey, any promoter, I'm open for bookings all the time. Book the Cure 13 at gmail.com. I would love to go to Seattle. Met my friends here. Take a couple of pictures with a Met hat. Let's go Mets. But for real, I'm open for bookings. I'm willing to travel all the time. So book the Cure 13 at gmail.com. Uh, just hit me up. Let's talk business.
We just might do that. We've got some Special Olympics things coming up that we look for donations and stuff for, so we might just do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We might just do that, man. Absolutely. But again, let us thank you. It was a honor and a privilege.
It was my pleasure.
Yep. To interview wrestling royalty. Guys, this doesn't happen very often. But you know, this was probably the greatest podcast that we've had this in our young career as podcasters, and for us to have a member of the Samoan dynasty, it's an honor.
No, it
Yes,
was
and
my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for having me. You have a friend here. Anytime you need me, just hit me up.
very awesome. Thank you. And that goes for us too. If you did anything from us or any of your guys want to come on anytime, just let us know and we'll make it happen.
Thank you.
So,
All right. Well, thank you very much
any,
for watching,
Thank
everybody,
you.
and we'll see you next time.
okay, and we're gonna clear